Hi, I'm Johnny Pepper with PsychomaniaTV, and I'm backstage at the 6th Psychobilly earthquake in Bremen, Germany with Batmobile. And I have to say I'm a little bit nervous because I
Don't be.
You should be. You should be.
I am. So I'm really excited to be interviewing you guys because first of all, you are the only Psychobilly man playing today that has the original lineup from the 80s.
Yep.
What's the secret?
But we're in love.
And they're brothers.
So we have to be.
Wow, it's kind of amazing though when you think about how many lineup changes there are in most bands.
But for me, it's kind of amazing that there are still so many bands around that change lineups every other month. You know.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to be in a band with totally changed lineups every year. So
Yes.
I only can imagine Batmobile with the three of us.
Yeah.
No, so we're family and we have the history together. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be possible with anyone else.
No. Anyone else? So, do you feel that like has something to do with your energy on stage and the way that you come across to the audience? You know, it's kind of a rhetorical question, but
I think it has to do more with the fact that we're so used to each other and we are complementary to each other. One has this, hoe zeg je dat? Talent, and the other has the other talent, and well, all together with three of us, this works. So
yes, and you know,
why change?
We're so tuned into each other. You know, it's like a machine. So when we play, we push each other to a different level.
Yeah,
and that's totally different when you play with someone else.
Yes.
So this is like a perfect team.
Right.
The A team. No, we're the B team. We're the B team.
Right. So, what year did you start actually?
83.
83. So it's been how many years? Has it
32?
32 years?
Yeah.
Wow. Great.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah, and still going strong. You guys played a lot this year, 2015.
Yeah, we had a good year. Yeah. Good gigs, good festivals, a lot of attention through the media, Dutch media. We did quite a few big non-psychobilly festivals back home.
Did you?
Yeah. Also in Czech Republic, there was a big like ska and pop music and.
Great.
And last week we did a hardcore metal festival.
Wow.
Totally different.
And how'd it go down?
Yeah, 7,500 metalheads.
Were they going like this?
Totally berserk on Batmobile. So it was really fun. Really
It
fun.
gets together very well apparently, the Psychobilly and the metal.
It's fun.
So.
It's fun, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're such an institution in Psychobilly. I mean, I think that you can, you of any band who's in the Psychobilly scene could probably sort of spread that Psychobilly magic around.
Hopefully.
I'd like to think that the energy we have on stage can be fun to look at for anyone who likes a little different or a little louder music than pop music. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know, because the Psychobilly scene is the Psychobilly scene, and so to be
It's small.
Yes.
Yeah. And personally, I love it because, like, evenings like tonight, it's like coming home. You know, you know half the people that are standing there, you know them personally. So it's always cool to be here, but it's as a band, it's more challenging to play for 7,500 metalheads. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I can't imagine.
So you have to perform at your best and don't drop anything, you know. So.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you keep the energy up when you get on stage?
It just happens. Yeah.
Yeah. It just comes natural.
It's fun to go crazy on stage.
Sort of. But it's not an act or something. It's not like a hat you put on.
Right.
It really happens on the spot.
Yeah.
It starts with our intro music. When that starts to play, I feel the adrenaline. goes really to my head. And then as soon when you're on that stage and you play your first chord,
Great.
you Jekyll and Hyde, you know. You become a different person.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So what's coming up? You guys are going to make a new record, I've heard.
Yep.
And when's the last time you put out a new record?
97.
Wow.
That was our last full album.
Okay.
It's 18 years ago.
Yeah.
So you're overdue.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Great. And when can we
But
expect
it's
that?
really, really exciting and a bit nerve-wracking actually to work on new material again for me. But we hope to finish recording and mastering it this year. So we hope to release it like in February or March. So that's the goal.
And what label do you release? It on?
I'm not sure yet. Maybe we don't release it on a label.
You do it yourself.
Maybe we do it ourselves. And maybe we do, but we haven't talked about it really. So
We first want to hear the final results and see what labels have to say about it and what they have to offer.
maybe there could be a little bigger label interested. Maybe we do a business with a small label and do a first batch of vinyl and iTunes, and that's it, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
There are different possibilities these days, you know, so we'll see.
Not just records anymore. It's not just vinyl like it was 20 years ago, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Great. Do you have a title for the album yet?
Nope.
Nope. So we'll look for that in the early part of next year. A new Batmobile album.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Anything else exciting for 2016?
Well, we are being followed around by a camera crew. They're not here today because they're in Colombia shooting stuff, I think. But they've been following us around for over a year now.
Wow.
They're making a documentary about us. It's called Being Batmobile. So they just follow us around and well, they shoot us at the most awkward moments. But it's really cool. It's got all our life stories, loads and loads of old material they collected, and I think it will be a fantastic film.
Great. And is it a Dutch production company that's doing it?
Yeah. Dutch movie makers.
Great. And when will that be done, do you know?
We hope at the same time as the album, so we can make a big bang early
Big
next
premiere.
year. Yeah, we hope so. Would be cool. Yeah.
Being Batmobile.
Yeah. It's really funny. It's really funny.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And any tour plans for the next coming year or the rest of the year?
Well, we have,
We're going to Russia in November, so next month.
Wow.
For Moscow and St. Petersburg, and we're in St. Petersburg. We're doing 3 live songs for Nationwide TV, Channel 5 in St. Petersburg. And in January...
46 now. Million viewers.
Russians.
Unbelievable amount of Russians. That's quite intimidating.
Yeah.
We did a few Dutch national TV appearances last year. The best viewed talk show in Holland. So that was, for us, was pretty good. Like 1.5 or 1.7 million. So in Dutch, for Dutch standards, it's quite big.
That's quite big for any standard.
But this could just as well be like 15 or 20 million. So that's more than the people in Holland, you know. So,
January we go to Japan.
Japan again.
How many dates are you going to play?
2 shows in
2 shows in
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Great.
And we recently been in Nashville, and we are have plans to go to Sweden, to Switzerland, Germany, Belgium, Holland. Scumbash. Next February.
A few weeks ago we had a show in Northampton.
Yeah.
Batman, which was great.
I saw you there.
It was very nice.
Always good to be home there. So.
Yeah. So you're ambassadors of Psychobilly, basically,
we try to
roaming the globe.
We try to be. Playing shows everywhere and being the best we can be.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. We're really looking
It's
forward
unbelievable.
to your set too.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that after 30 something years that you still have the energy and get the energy from the shows, you know.
Yes, from doing
so
it.
It's excellent.
Well, I mean, that makes me think of another question, which is 30 plus years later, what do you think about the scene today, Psychobilly, and where do you think it's going? I mean, some people think that we're sort of at a crossroads, like things are kind of low now. It's hard to get shows for bands. There aren't a lot of new bands. There's not a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think there are quite a lot of new bands.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
pretty good bands too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
There are some. There are definitely. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying some people say that that the scene is sort of going down now. And
We had that, I think, in the 90s, late 90s, that same thing happened. But I think it's like the economics, you know, it's like going up, going
like
down,
a sine
going
wave.
And it's happening on different times in different countries.
Exactly.
Because when we started, it was big in England,
Yeah.
and in Holland quite growing too. And now,
And then it exploded in Germany.
and then it exploded in Germany, and 5-6 years ago it exploded in the US, and
Brazil.
and 10 years before that
Japan.
it exploded in Japan.
Yeah.
Two Japanese bands played here.
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of
Young band.
young.
This is not a dying scene.
No.
If anybody thinks that, he's absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
This is not a dying scene. This will always be here. Because even in 1987, when it was still the early days, when we look back to it now, but at that time there were also people that said, well, this was it, it's over now, and
But
it was never over.
No. And now we're 30 years
Yes.
later, you know.
Yeah.
So it lasted, and it's never gone away.
I think we'll be doing this until the day we drop dead.
Great.
And
Which I hope will be a very long time from now.
Statistically, it will be me. I'm the oldest. But you never know.
You have strong genes.
And I intend to die on stage. It's not funny for them, but
I hope I'm at that show.
I really
I'm not gonna clean up the mess.
probably shit my pants.
He's gonna put on his Tommy Cooper hat and just
But that's for me it would be a good
The
death.
way to go out.
yeah.
But never. I will never go and quit this. As long as they want to, I will be playing.
I think they're solid.
But the only thing is that when you get older,
Yeah.
the energy fades a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't have that. Well, we don't have that right now. But I think maybe in 10 or 15 years.
Yeah. When you're 70.
I think so. But I expect it to be. I don't know how it is.
Yes.
But I expect that to be. On the other hand, when I was 25, I thought I would be an old man when I was 50. But I
Right.
would be 50.
Right.
Now I'm 50 and. Still feel
It's all
pretty old.
relative. It
It
depends
is
on
all relative.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's, yeah,
But you don't. You mustn't become a shadow of yourself. You know. You have to be. When people are coming to see Batmobile, they must get
Yes.
another bad version of it.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So you always have to question yourself if you're still doing the right thing.
Yes.
But so far, I think we're still improving. Actually, so I think we're still.
Improving in what way?
Well, I think the shows still get better every time.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a great thing to
Yeah.
be able to say.
A lot of bands get worse through the years due to lineup changes or maybe lack of interest from the band members. But we're still interested in improving our way of playing, and I still practice every day. And I want to also the old songs. I want to play them better and sharper. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Do you guys
a matter of
practice?
attitude. I practice every day.
Do you practice as a band?
No.
Don't need to anymore.
No. Only for the new songs now.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but not the old stuff.
Well, another question sort of related to that would be, do you have any advice? Is there anything that you would say to young psychobilly bands starting out, that they could have the longevity and the energy and still be making great music, and stay together as a band?
Well, don't give up on each other too quickly. You know, invest in each other and try to be a band and not one solo artist who supposedly has the talent of the band. You know, I think when you invest in being a band,
Yes.
you improve each other. You know, and that's a big problem of a lot of bands. That there's one guy who makes himself that band,
Right,
no matter
right.
what happens around him. I don't get it. You know, you never be a band
Right.
in my book.
Right, right, right.
And it's good because sometimes it works. It's the only way to work for some people, but I don't get it. For me, it wouldn't work.
Sort of a social thing.
Exactly, but it's all
teamwork.
Yeah, it's teamwork. It's teamwork that improves the whole. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. The result is always better than three of us apart.
Individually.
Yeah.
You make each other better.
Yeah.
It's like
So
a good marriage.
Yeah, exactly. So an advice is listen to
what a
each
good
other,
marriage is like.
work with each other, invest in each other,
Yeah.
and don't be a
Wist ik
bitch.
eigenlijk niet, maar dat is...
Bite the bullet.
What I would advise young bands is
Not to play Psychobilly.
You would
go
do
into
that.
dance are much nicer girls, but to stay true to themselves and not to copy another band.
Yeah.
Find your own sound and find your own energy, and not don't try to copy
Yes.
the old guys.
No,
Right.
don't copy the Method to Go because the Method to Go is already there.
It's already there.
Yeah.
Right, right, right. We don't need
They're
to
the best at being demented.
Demented or
Yeah.
go. Well, I suppose for an artist, that's one of the hardest things is to sort of find your identity and your own voice, your own way of doing things.
True.
I mean,
True.
that's the
That's
creativity.
why it has being
On the other hand, that's maybe the easiest thing.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
just do what you do.
yeah.
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 Yeah, but I mean, you guys were there at the beginning, so it was a new.
But we
music
didn't know that we
genre.
were at the beginning of anything.
No, we
You
didn't
just
know.
did what
We just
Okay.
did what we did.
But if you
because
compare
we,
it
and
to
we did
your-
it because we did it the way we did it because we did it.
Yes.
And there were rockabilly bands before us.
Right, of course. Yes.
There were the Stray Cats,
Yeah.
and before that there were Crazy Gavin, and there was
Yeah.
Levi and the Rockettes, and there was Johnny Burnett. You know,
Yes.
it's-
Yes. Right.
it
There's
went
always.
back quite
Yes.
a bit, you know.
There's always.
So we
someone
loved
big
rockabilly, but
before.
we didn't want to sound. We did want to sound like Johnny Burnett, but we couldn't. No, we didn't want to play Johnny Burnett because
Yes.
Johnny Burnett was already there.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say before was, maybe a lot of young bands feel, because the psychobilly scene has been happening since the 80s, that they want, they probably fell in love with psychobilly by listening to Batmobile or Demented or whatever. And so they try to emulate those bands in some way, maybe on the way to finding their own style.
Yeah.
But what
Could be.
you're saying
Could be.
is that there's always some bands that came before
Exactly.
that influence you and that you love.
and it goes back to Elvis and beyond,
Yes.
to Robert Johnson,
Yes.
and to the core of the music. So
Yeah.
it's just listen to a lot of music, be inspired by a lot of people, and
Yeah.
do your own thing with it.
And get great bandmates.
That's pretty important. That's pretty
That's
important.
very important.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, if you're not in a band with good friends, then you should find yourself another band.
Great. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to say to your fans?
Bye. Bye bye.
Keep coming.
Thank you, Batmobile. Mwah.
It's a
3
pleasure.
times. Mwah.
Like the Dutch way.
Right. Mwah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You see, I was a little bit nervous. Mwah.
Now you
I
know
look
better.
forward